Hi there, Happy New Year from Ma'am. I'm Azimah and I have Amna with me. Hi Amna.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to everybody. So we're doing a special episode where Amna's here, I'm here. We're gonna ask each other questions, we're gonna share a bit of stories, and we wanna give you motivation about on learning English and communication and relate real life stories as well. So good morning, Amna.
Good morning, Madam Azima.
Right. So, for those who don't know us and what we do, we are My English Matters, and we are sisters, Aisha, Amna, and me. And we teach English and communication to working adults. And we've been doing this for nearly 5 years, or is it 6 years, Amna?
It
2016,
was to 2016, so it's been 5 years plus. But I just
right?
want to note that if you're wondering who's Aisha, where's Aisha? Aisha is at home. She's taking care of my kids. So right now it's still the school holidays. So yesterday I sent my three kids over to her house. So she's taking care of them since she's been taking care of them since yesterday. I'm going to pick them up today because they insisted that they want to sleep over at her house because their cousins are there as well. So just if any of you are wondering where she is, just wanted to
All right.
clear that one.
Okay. So it's just the two of us. Hello, Aisha, if you're watching. Okay. So as I said, we teach English and communication to working adults since 2016. We have courses. You can check out our website if you want to learn more from us. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about goal setting and making 2022 better. So, I have questions for Amna, and she can also ask me back. I'll also share a bit of stories. And because I decided to ask Amna these questions, because out of the three of us, Amna is the most productive. You have routines, you have goals and missions, and you're the one actually leading the team with your mission and vision. So I have a few questions, and I hope you're ready, Amna. Um, Tell us, how should we set our goals for 2022, or in overall, not just for 2022?
So I don't believe there's like a correct or a right or wrong way to do things. I think it really depends on the stage of life that you are in as well. So you got to take that into consideration. But I do listen to a lot of people who teach online, and they talk about how they set their goals. So what I do is I listen to a lot of people, and I find the ways that are suitable for me at this point or at this stage of my life. So one thing that people teach is that your goal should be a little bit out of your comfort zone, should be a bit challenging. It should also be inspiring. So personally, what I do is I think about my past year, and I think about the upcoming year, and I think, what do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? What do I want to experience in the next 12 months? So those are my goals. So in the past, I've created goals that were realistic. So you could do that. So you could do goals that you think that you know that you will achieve. But you could also do like really big goals, and maybe you know that you're not going to achieve those goals, but you are going to go further when you try to achieve those goals, even though you may not reach that goal, but you know that you've grown out of it. So for me personally, I like to set goals that are a bit out of my comfort zone. So when I set it, I'm like, oh gosh, if I want to achieve this goal, what do I have to do? Maybe I have to be a different person. Maybe I have to create new habits or create a new system. So create goals that are a bit challenging. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. It's okay if you want to create realistic goals as well, as long as you have the steps to get there, right? So
Mm,
that's my answer for that question.
wow. So it's about reaching beyond your current skills as well, because it is out of your comfort zone. That means you have to rise to the challenge, right?
Yeah,
Does it mean that feeling a bit uncomfortable is good then?
I believe it is because anything that's worth pursuing is usually going to get you out of your comfort zone, right? If you have a goal, you know that it's going to be, if you have a big goal, you know that it's going to be a challenge. And a challenge is usually outside of your comfort zone. And I know people, like in the past, I've spoken to a few people about how I've struggled through something, and I told myself that I know that this is out of my comfort zone. I'm going to grow from it. And I reflect on how I know that it's good for me, even though I don't like the process. The process is really hard. And then some people are like, mm, but I like being in my comfort zone, and it's
Yeah.
okay. I want to be in my comfort zone. I don't want to be outside of my comfort zone. It makes me happy. And that's okay. If that works for you, then that's fine. But because after you reach a goal and then you're at this a certain level, then that becomes your comfort zone. So for me, I like to stay there for a bit, enjoy it, enjoy whatever success that I have. And then once you feel a little bit like, so what's next? Or maybe you feel like, I don't feel happy, I don't feel fulfilled. That
Mm.
is when you start asking yourself, so what can I do to challenge myself? Right. So if right now you're in a state where you're really happy, you just want to enjoy the moment, you don't want to challenge yourself, but that's fine. But if any moment when you feel, I'm just feeling a bit bored, I'm not feeling like I'm meeting my potential, that's when you start to think about what is your next goal, what is your next challenge to get yourself
Mm.
out of that comfort zone.
Okay. So my next question is, how do we then reach our goals? And if you can relate, how do we stay productive?
How do we stay productive and how do we reach our goals?
Mm-hmm.
One, so you have a big goal. Maybe you have a big goal for the 12 months. And what I like to do is I like to break it down. So I like to break it down into quarters. So if by the end of the year 2022 I need to achieve this goal, right? What do I have to achieve in the next quarter? So 1 year is 12 months. 1 quarter is 3 months, right? So in each quarter, what do I need to do so that by the last quarter, I've achieved that goal? And
Mm.
maybe the first 3 months is like, maybe you could break the goals down into smaller steps. So one goal could be broken down into 4 steps. So one step for each quarter. So as long as I can achieve that one smaller goal in that quarter and then reach the next goal in the second quarter, third and fourth, inshallah, you'll reach that goal that you've set for
Mm.
yourself.
So,
How to be, yeah, what did you want to say?
so you're saying about breaking them into steps so that eventually you'll reach that goal, right? So I think that's very important for us to highlight. Like, for example, if we have students who struggle with speaking English, let's say speaking on camera, for example. We have a friend who wants to speak on camera, but she gets very nervous. But in order for her to get further, she knows that she needs to speak on camera. So if she needs to break that down, because that's a huge goal, if she needs to break that down so that she can reach that goal, what are her steps, do you think? I'll give you one tip, and I'm not going to give some more because
Okay.
we've already conquered that goal. I think speaking on camera, but I would say first start a blog, a video blog, just for yourself. You don't have to publish it anywhere, but start every day expressing your thoughts in English. It could be just a 2-minute video of you just speaking. That could be one of the ways to do that.
Mhm.
What are the
Yeah.
what are the steps there are there for that?
Um, I like the idea because that's something that I did as well. I think you did that as well. We just started to just record ourselves. And then after you record yourself, you watch the video again, and it's going to be painful, where it was for me to watch myself. I'm going to look at myself. I'm going to be kind to myself, even though I'm like, oh my gosh, why does my face look like that? Why do I sound
Yeah.
like that? I
Mm-mm.
don't like my voice. But instead of having all those negative thoughts about yourself, be kind to yourself, be your own coach and say, okay, I need to improve here, I need to stop, lessen my arms. Give yourself constructive feedback instead of
Mm.
like really being hard on yourself. So be kind to yourself when
Mm-mm.
you do that. And then another step that you could take is that after you've um, so we were talking about a goal of being finally on camera so that everybody can see it, right? So that first goal was
Mm-hmm.
take videos of yourself,
Mm-mm.
give yourself constructive feedback, and then the next step that you could do is start sharing it, maybe just with your closest friends, and then once
Mm.
you feel comfortable doing that, start sharing it to the public,
Yeah.
right? And then for me, it was like it was hard for us to go live, right? A few years back, we're like, oh, we can never go live. It's too scary. And
Yes.
in the end, how we started it, we just started with recording our voice, right, for videos.
Mm-hmm.
Started with that, and then we became comfortable with that, and then we started recording our face with our videos with our faces, and then it was live.
Yeah.
So it's like small, gradual steps. Because once
Mm-mm.
you get comfortable in certain level, you want to push yourself because you know you have potential. You want to push yourself to get to that next level of potential that you have.
Yeah. And I think stepping out of your comfort zone here is important, where you feel uncomfortable doing so. It's something different because you're not trained to do this. Nobody trains you to do this. You have to do it yourself if you want to. And so it's very important that you try to pump yourself up, like get really excited about having your message out there, and no longer worrying about how you look and how you sound, but instead think about your message, what kind of influence you're going to have once you're able to speak on camera. So have these vision and goals to reach. I think that's really important. Okay.
Yeah, so
So
the goals have to be, they have to be something that motivate you, something that makes you feel inspired to reach it.
mm,
Because there are going to be days where you're like, I just don't feel like doing anything.
yeah.
But if the goal is challenging and it's inspiring and it's somewhere that you want to be, then it may be helpful on those harder days when you're just lacking some motivation.
Yeah. All right. So let's answer my third question. How
Okay.
can we stay productive? How can we stay productive with our
How can we
goals?
stay productive? The one thing that changed my life, you've probably heard me say this so many times if you're a student or you've been watching all our videos, is journaling. Writing down, it's not just journaling but also planning. So I like to journal to reflect on the days that have passed or the weeks that have passed, and also to journal on the my goals and stuff like that, but also planning your days. So I started really getting back to journaling and planning my days back in, I think it was 2017, because I stopped for a while. I stopped journaling after high school, I think, or after university. I can't remember because I just let life get in the way. But we both follow this influencer. Is he an influencer? He's like a motivational speaker, uh, Brandon Burchard, and he was always saying that you have to spend a few minutes every morning to just plan your day, or at least to just write down what are the three things, one to three, or one to five things that need to get done that day. And he said, just spend 4 minutes every morning. And that was back when my children were small. So I was like telling myself, no, I can't do that. I don't have 4 minutes in the morning. I wake up at the same time my kids wake up. Or, my small children are very demanding. So I was telling myself that I couldn't do it. So what I did was I started with once a week. So every week I would just write down, what needs to be achieved uh, within the following week. What were the three things or the five things that I needed to do? And then as that became a habit, more of a weekly routine, then I upped it and next went to the next level. I wrote every day, every morning. And then after I write every morning, now I write twice a day. And that may seem a lot to you, but it's been helpful for me, especially now that my children are a little bit older. So I'm at the stage of life where I can do that. But yeah, so planning your days is really important for me. Find what works for you. I think being productive, what helps me is every day I know the main three things, or sometimes it's five things that I need to do that day. So those tasks are usually the important tasks to get moving towards my goals, or just the urgent and important things that need to be done that day, like this email needs to go out today, or I need to, like for me, doing this recording together with you, that's one of the important things that I need to be done today, that needs to be done today. And I schedule it in the day, so there's like an hour for me to dedicate my time in doing
Mm,
that. And then once it's done, then I'm free to do whatever I want. I can, spend time with my children, do other things that, the daily things that need to be done. But as long as I know that I've done those three things that are most important to me, I feel that I'm productive.
Mm.
And find what works for you. I know that's even if your every day is the same, you go to work every day, it's just the same thing, you're answering emails every day, it's fine. Just write it down. Just schedule those important things that need to be done. So maybe your important thing could be something like just getting some exercise or getting a walk outside with your small children. It doesn't necessarily have to be work related. It could also be personal or things that are
Mm.
related to health as well. Just schedule it in your day, even if it's the
Mm.
same thing every day. I think that's important.
Mm. All right. So you're saying about scheduling time or blocking time. Um, do you put an estimate like how long it will take for you to complete that goal of yours? Whatever is that schedule. Let's say writing an email. Do you like put a time? It's only you're only going to be spending 30 minutes. Let's say. Do you
I
have a
usually
start and end time? Yeah.
um I usually give myself 1 hour to do one task. That sounds like a lot, but it works for me because I know that I'm gonna be maybe distracted, or I may be interrupted by my children. And I want to welcome sometimes I can welcome their interruption, because I know that I've given myself a lot of time to do that even that small task. And when it's done, I can just relax and maybe scroll some on social media or something, and it's fine because I won't feel guilty because I've already done that thing within the hour. And it
Mm.
really depends, like, because I usually know how long it takes for me to complete a task, because I've usually it's the same things that I always do every day, write an email. So I know that, this usually takes me, like, one email can take me 15 minutes if it's just like a normal reminder email or something. But if it's like a longer blog post, then that would probably take me an hour. So I've already scheduled my 1 hour to do that task. But if I have a lot of things to do that day, then I schedule more than one task in 1 hour.
Mm. All right. I do have a question. I don't know if you've heard about, if you are a morning person, a night person, and then you are looking at which task requires more brain, and if you're brain time, brain fuel, energy. So let's say the harder task that requires more thinking, and if you're a morning person, that should be done in the morning. Let's say. Do you
Mhm.
agree with that, or do you what do you think about that?
I like knowing that some people are morning people, some people are night owls. I don't limit myself to a certain identity. I don't think I'm a morning person. I don't think I'm a night person. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, in this stage of life, I'm more of a morning person. When I was younger, before I had children, I was a night owl because I used to wake up late and I used to stay up late. But now, based on my current stage in life, I'm more of a morning person. I love my mornings, so I use that time to write. I use that time to do some content on social media. That is the most peaceful time in the morning for me. So I like to use that time best. Um, so your question about using the morning time to do things that require more of your brain, yeah, I think it depends on, if you in the morning, if you are very groggy in the morning, then maybe that's not the time for you to do those kinds of things. But for me, I'm most alert, I'm most energized in the morning, so I use that morning to do the things that I actually enjoy and needs to use a lot of my brain power. And I usually schedule our meetings in the afternoon, because it's not that I don't think you guys are important, but at that time, the energy that comes from you guys, I feel a bit more energized in the afternoons when I do meetings. When I do meetings in the afternoons, because if I do it in the morning, I'm already quite energized, and usually in the afternoon after lunch, I get a bit sleepy. So when I have meetings and I talk to you guys, that makes me feel a bit more energized. So that's how my day works out.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. For those who are working, what about those who are working from 9 to 5? They only have a bit of time in the evening up till bedtime, right? To do tasks that are outside of their work. That would be family
Mm,
time, for example. Maybe
mm-mm.
they do have something else that they want to achieve, like learn a language. They want to learn English.
Mm.
So
Yep.
now they only have night time to do so, or early in the morning before they go to work. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. So I used to have a 9 to 5 job, a 9 to 6 job. I used to work in the corporate world. So I totally understand where you're in a situation where you feel like you don't have time because 9 to 6 you're at work, and then you're traveling, you're commuting at 7 to 8, and then at 8 you're feeling already sleepy, putting the kids to bed, having your dinner and all that. So what you could do is you can like journal, list down like what are the things that you're actually doing in those hours. Can you dedicate maybe even just 20 minutes to learn a new language? Like maybe you want to improve your English. 20 minutes just to do an activity where you're in the learning mode. Maybe you're reading a book, maybe you are listening to a podcast, or maybe you are taking a class, so you're taking a course with my English letters, for example, and just dedicate that 20 minutes. Because I know a lot of people say, I don't have time. But if you spend a lot of time on social media scrolling, then I think you could replace that with the time to learn. But if you're not a person who likes to do social media, then look at other pockets of time in your day and see whether, that could be replaced with something that is more important, or something that's more important to you on your
Mm,
journey of reaching your goal.
okay. All right. Thanks, Amna, for sharing. All right. So I've got two more questions for you. Maybe there's more. I
Okay.
don't know. Right. What are the things we need to stop doing in order to move forward?
What do we need to stop doing? Um, I don't think there's just like one thing that we need to stop doing. For me personally, I think that we need to stop um, giving ourselves these identities where they're not helpful to us. Like many of our students, we love our students, but many of them say, I'm a shy person, so I'm not going to turn on my camera on Zoom, which is fine for me. But the notion that you are a shy person, you're creating this identity for yourself. Like, I'm a shy person, so I'm not going to do this. I'm a shy person, so I'm not going to go to that networking event, whatever. So instead of creating that identity that you're a shy person, but you do want to eventually network, you could say, I'm a shy person, but I'm going to learn the skills to become confident, to express myself confidently, and I'm going to learn how to connect with other people so that I can whatever exercise, right? So you got to know, you have this identity, but what are you going to do to overcome the challenges from that, from being a shy person, so that eventually you can go out and express yourself. You can talk to yourself, talk to other people confidently, and be the person that you want to be, kind of person
Mm,
that you want to be. Yeah.
yeah. Mm. Not letting your identity or your characteristics or things that you were called when you were children, you're shy or you're an introvert, whatever, um, stop you from achieving what it is that you want to achieve and you need to achieve, right?
Mm-mm.
What about being an introvert? We have lots of students who are introverts, and I identify myself. If there was an introvert versus ambivert, identify myself as an introvert, and Amna, I think you identify yourself as an introvert as well. But it doesn't. I don't use it as a hindrance to make me become a good teacher or to make me learn how to be good at socializing or to muster the energy to socialize. And you know because if you just, what do you call it, if you function according to your mood only, let's say I don't feel good today, so I don't want to talk to people, and every day you just asking yourself, what's my mood today? Oh yeah, a bad mood today. Tomorrow, yeah, I have still bad mood. I don't feel like, I don't feel like. then you're never going to grow, right? And I think it was Brendan Burchard who says that when you struggle with something is an indication that you need to start learning something or stop doing something in order for you to achieve your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. My next question to Amna, what are the things then we need to start doing to get better?
What do we need to start doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I talked about journaling. So if you're not already doing that, start journaling, start planning your days. What else do we need to do? Start being around people who are positive, who can encourage you, who are kind to you. I know that can be difficult for some people. Um,
Mm. Maybe they're not
some
surrounded by um, inspiring people. is it
Yeah,
is it
I
possible?
understand that. Yeah,
It's
it is
possible.
possible because
Yeah.
maybe it's just you just grew up in an environment where people are negative, or people are just, it's just the culture of being sarcastic or putting
Yeah.
other people down, and you were just born in that situation. Then you went to
Yeah.
school, and then people were like that as well. And then you went to university, and people were
Mm.
like that as well. You were like thrown into that situation,
Yeah.
and then you react to it, right? But there's a certain point in time where you're like, it's time for me to be proactive in the culture or in the community that I want to be in. Because all this
Mm-hmm.
time it was given to you, it was thrown to you. So now it's time for you to go out and look for those kinds of people.
Mm.
And we're adults now, right? So we have to be in charge of where we are and who we spend our time with, right? So
Exactly.
yeah,
Oh, I like that. I like that idea of actually doing the work. You have to decide who you want to be around because you're no longer forced into staying around people who are not positive or not inspiring. I think you have to get out and
yeah.
actually search for that environment, that ideal environment that you
But
that will
then there
help
are people
you.
But then the people who will say, like, but these are my closest family members. I can't. I need to spend time with them. And I
Mm,
always say it's not about burning bridges, right? Burning bridges with the people that are not a positive influence, but it's about creating new bridges with
mm,
people who you actually enjoy the company of, right? So that
yeah,
you spend more time with them rather than with, you can still spend time with people who are, maybe they're your friends. What do you call it? Obligation. There are obligations that you have to fulfill with these people, like they're your family
yeah,
members,
yeah,
or they're your but
yeah.
spend
Silaturahim,
more
right?
time.
You still have to
Yeah,
have the silaturahim, definitely. Yeah.
yeah. You
Mm-mm.
still need to spend time with people who can encourage you and build you and inspire you.
Yeah. So I would say sometimes you have to lessen your time with people who bring you down, right? There are certain
Yep.
people that you can actually list down. Like, who are these people? There's a certain pattern of people that you're like, oh, I need to spend a bit, back off a bit, spend a bit less time with them, so that I can
Yeah.
spend more energy searching for new friends and people. But it's difficult
Mm-hmm.
as a working adult probably to find new friends. But
Yeah.
you can the environment by listening, right? I'm not you and I. We
Mhm.
do a lot of listening to um, people in our industry, the motivational um, industry, thought leaders, influencers who are positive. We
Yeah.
love to listen to that because sometimes we don't get that in our house, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a lot. Our friends are in our ears. The ones that we listen to. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think also because we are lucky that we have siblings who we support each other. So
Mm-hmm.
we spend a lot of time with each other, even if it's just through a Zoom call or it's a WhatsApp. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Yeah. And I think taking courses as well is important as well, right? Taking
Mm.
courses, things that you're still, let's say you want to learn and you're still not good at it, you can take courses with inspiring teachers, influencers, whatever that you want, that
Yeah.
that will just take you out of your world. I think it's really
Uh,
important, right? It's a form of
yeah. Because I
escapism.
remember some of our students in Communicate with Confidence, right? I'm just promoting our own product here, but they were saying, because we give them a feedback survey, and then they were saying that they feel when they do the Zoom calls with other students, they feel like they're in one big family, big happy family. I think it's because they all have the same thing in common, which is they want to learn, they want to improve themselves in that particular skill of communication. So they have that shared interest, and they were all supporting each other, encouraging each other, and that just
Mm.
feels really, it feels good, right? To feel that
Feels
you're
good.
supported, to feel that
Yeah.
you're encouraged,
And
and
you're not
having people,
alone.
yeah, and that you're not alone, and you have people who believe in you. I think that's really
Yeah.
important.
It's really important. Okay. All right. So I guess that is it. I mean, do you have anything else that you want to add? Like, how can we make 2022 better? Anything else that you want to add, Amna?
How can we make 2022 better? um just challenge yourself, get yourself out of your comfort zone. If you're feeling a little bored, you're feeling like what's next, um because we always have a potential, right? Based on the level of skills that we have now, there's always potential. So that's what potential means. It just means unfulfilled, what do you call it? I don't know, but something like that. Like, this is your level of skill, and your potential is here. And then once you've leveled up your skill, your potential is here. It's always
Mm,
above your current level of skill and
that's
experience.
right. Yeah.
So I always feel like, there's always a gap that you need to fill to meet that potential. And what's next for you? What can you do next? And
Mm-hmm.
where can you go,
Yeah.
so that you feel that sense of fulfillment and challenge? And life can get a bit boring if you're always doing the same thing. Yeah.
Mm. Mm-mm. Okay, all right then. So I guess that's it from us at My English Matters. And if you want to learn more from us, go to myenglishmatters.com. We give you, if you subscribe, you get free video trainings on how to speak confidently. And we send you emails every week on communication on English. And I hope so. We hope you become a subscriber. So that's it from me. Happy New Year. Amna,
Happy New
thank you
Year.
so much for sharing. I think I'm going to start journaling. I don't journal like you. So it's something that I need to start doing. Sometimes I feel like, what else do I need to do? And I'm like, oh yeah, Amna always keeps reminding me to journal, which is something I don't do. So I'm going to do that as well with you guys. I hope you guys start doing that.
Okay, so now that you said it in public, you have to do it now. Because I
I,
remember, I think it was 2 years ago, where we had like an online workshop, and then you were saying like, what are your goals? And then everybody was answering what their goals were, the students in the class. And I said, my goal for 2022 is I want to exercise every day for 10 minutes. And then once I
2022.
wrote, sorry, in 2020 at that time. And
Mm-hmm.
when I wrote it, I was like, oh gosh, now I've said it to everyone, and now I have to keep it. So one
Mm.
thing about reaching your goal is about telling other people. And then last year I said that for 2021, I wanted to start gardening, right? And when I
Mm-hmm.
said that, as in my mind, I said, oh God, I can't take it back now. Now I have to do it. So yeah, it's good to actually tell people so that they can
Mm.
hold you accountable.
Mm. The problem with me is I have too many journals, empty books. So it's scattered all over the place, and I write it on my
Mm.
phone. So maybe I'll do it like you, Amna, which is just to stick to one book
Yeah, maybe
so that I'm not looking for
for
it. Where is it? Yeah.
just one book
Mm.
for your journal. And the other books can be for your other stuff, like note taking or lessons, preparing lessons and stuff like that.
All right. Okay, then. Thank you so much, Amna, and I hope to see you again. Hope we're gonna do more of this sort of session. And if you have questions or you want us to cover a certain topic, email to us, write to us, and go to our website, myenglishmatters.com. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.